Hello. I'm vlogging in the car. I am stuck in really bad traffic, so I have some time to at least like talk a little bit. So it's officially day one of Anime Week in Atlanta. I got off work and took tomorrow, Friday, off, so I took off work to work still. But anyways, right now I'm on the way to pick up my friend to help me set up, and then we're gonna head to the venue, pick up the badges, load everything out, and then find my table. I only really packed my display stuff for today. I'm not gonna leave any inventory out because I don't trust people. I'm really afraid that something's gonna get stolen, so I'm just going to wait to bring all of my plushies and everything I'm selling tomorrow when the artist alley actually opens up to the public. I think what I'm gonna do every day is just pack all my plushies and bring them back with me. I'm really scared that something's gonna get stolen, and I really don't want like all my hard work and effort into making all of these by hand to just go to someone who doesn't deserve it from stealing, you know? So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. It might be more work for me, but it gives me the peace of mind. All the other events I've done have been outdoors, so I've had to bring like my canopy and tent weights and everything, and that already takes up so much room in my car, so I'm so glad that this is my first indoor event and I don't have to bring all of that. Even the table is provided for us, so that's one less thing to worry about too. So my car is not as packed as it usually is whenever I do market days. My plan was to have my like rough setup done earlier in the week, but I just had no time whatsoever to even get to that until yesterday, the day before the actual event, which I hate doing, but that's what ended up happening. So I spent hours last night like setting it up, and I was up until like 4 a.m. But I'm pretty satisfied with the display, and I hope that it works. I'm using the grid cubes or panels that everyone uses, and they're 1 by 1. So I'm hoping that the table is under 3 feet high, so I can have at least 5 feet of shelving to hold everything that I have. When I put my plushies on display last night, I couldn't even fit all of the ones that I had. And that's not even including like the duplicates of some of the ones that I made. So yeah, I need to figure that out Friday morning. I'm debating if I should just like put out certain things and just like restock during the day so it doesn't look so crowded. I'm worried it's gonna look a little too crowded, but it might also draw in a lot of people because I have a lot of different things. So I don't know, I'll probably finalize the plushie setup tomorrow morning. But yeah, okay. Traffic finally died down, so I will catch you all at the venue. Good morning, it is 8:30 a.m. and I'm currently setting up. Here's how I set it up on Thursday. I have all my plushies to display, so I'm going to set that up right now. The final display. Wow, it looks so crowded, and this isn't even everything that I made. Here's the rest of the row that I'm in. I'm really close to the guests, like the voice actors and everything, so I'm hoping being on this side will generate a bit more traffic, but we'll see. I have no expectations. But all my surroundings with neighbors are so talented, and just walking around is like so crazy. I honestly can't believe I'm actually doing an event like this from all the YouTube videos that I've been watching and everything. Oh my god, it just opened. Panic, panic. Alright. This is the finished setup. Pretty proud of myself. I couldn't even fit everything that I brought, not including the duplicates either, so I will have to do a lot of rearranging throughout the day. But yeah, the doors have opened and it officially started, so wish me luck. It's been 30 minutes and I've already made 7 sales. Exciting! This is so crazy. I'm already at like, my goal for each day was to make 1,000 in sales, and I've already exceeded that by a lot just on day one. Oh my god. I'm so shocked. This is so crazy. Day 2 setup's looking a little sparse. I sold mostly everything yesterday. Oh my god. I hope I have enough to pull me off for the rest of the day. Today's supposed to be the busy one, so wish me luck. The voice actor for the Cabbage Man from Avatar will be right there. Someone had bought all 3 Spy Family characters. Y'all, it's 2 p.m. on Saturday. This is literally all I have left. It's so empty. Oh my god. Schlump. This is it. This is all that was left on Saturday. Oh my god. Hello, it's now Wednesday, November 1st, so it's been a few days since Anime Week in Atlanta, and I can finally give a recap on how crazy this past weekend was. I'm honestly just speechless. So after work on Thursday, I picked up my friend and we went to the venue to set up for the weekend. As soon as we walked into the exhibit hall where all the artist alley and dealers were, I was so overwhelmed and just so in shock. I've watched so many YouTube videos on other artist alleys, and it's a really different feeling watching it through a video versus being there in person. It was just so crazy just standing there and looking at all the other tables and vendors, and I was just standing there and looking around and was like, oh my god, I'm here. I'm part of this. We took a couple hours to set up my display. I didn't bring any of my plushies at the time. I had brought all of those Friday morning. I know theft can be a thing in the artist alley, both with attendees and with other artists. So I was a little hesitant on setting up all my plushies on display the night before the artist alley even opened. I really didn't want any of my plushies getting stolen, especially since I made everything by myself. So Thursday was just setting up the entire display itself. Then Friday came along. I woke up at 6 a.m., packed all my plushies in the car, picked up my friend again because he was my helper for the day, then went back to the venue, set up all my plushies, and then the artist alley opened at 10 a.m. It was so crazy. Like, after we set up on Thursday and walked around through all the other tables looking at all the other vendors, I totally forgot that I had 3 pochitas in progress that I was making for the weekend, and then I like never finished them. So when I got back home Thursday night, I finished 1 pochita. I put it out on Friday and it was the very first thing that sold. So the very last thing I had made to sell for the weekend ended up being the very first thing that I sold, which was really crazy. That sale happened within a couple of minutes. And then right after that, a family had come up and they specifically asked, "Do you have any pochitas?" And I had to explain I only had 1 made for the weekend and he literally had just sold right before they got there. I had mentioned that I had a few in progress that I was hoping to finish up in time for tomorrow, aka Saturday, and the rest of the weekend, and that they should come back and see if it would be available by then. So they got my business card, and even later that day on Friday, I received an email from them double checking that I would have a pochita available. So Friday night I managed to finish up another one. I told her that I would have the 1 available, but it'll be available on a first come first served basis. So if it had sold by the time she made it to the artist alley, I would be able to make a custom for her later on if she wanted to. But Saturday morning, that family was the first one there. They got to my table so out of breath and were like, "Oh my god, did we make it? Like, I see it there. Is it still available?" So yeah, that interaction and just all the other interactions I've had throughout the whole weekend just made me feel so validated and so excited that so many people were very huge fans of the plushies I made and that they really enjoyed what I offered for the artist alley. So yeah, this weekend was just a crazy experience. I had already made back my table fee within the first like 10-20 minutes. Like, it didn't even take half an hour for me to finally make back my table fee, which was so crazy. And by the end of the first hour, I had already made about the same in sales as I normally would have made from all the like 1-day markets I've done in the past. So that was just so crazy to me that so many of my plushies were selling out so quickly. The first couple hours were pretty overwhelming. It was just a constant flow of sales, and I really don't think I could do a convention by myself. I would need at least 1 other person slash helper to be there with me, because while I was busy taking payments and everything, my friend was at the front like rearranging and fixing up my display because a lot of plushies were getting moved around, things were getting knocked over, which is inevitable. Like, I don't really care about that, but I definitely need the other person to be doing that for me while I'm taking payments and everything, because it would have been such a pain to have to like go back and forth around the table to get to the front to be able to like check everything to make sure everything was in its place. So yeah, for future reference, I will definitely be needing at least 1 other person to help me whenever I do any future conventions. Within the first hour, a lot of people had commented on Appa, but we weren't really sure if he would sell that day on Friday. But later on, there was a couple that came up. The girl kept staring at Appa and she looked like she was really considering getting him. So I offered to like take him down so she could hug him and like touch him and everything, see how he felt. And as soon as she hugged him, her face just like got so excited, and she was really considering it. But ultimately she decided to put him back up and think about it. So they left and walked around a bit more. But within 30 minutes, they came back and she said she thought about it and she decided she wanted to do it and get him. So I sold my giant appa within a few hours of Friday, like the first day of the Artist Alley opening. I thought he would be there the whole weekend, but surprisingly, he sold so quickly. And even after that, a lot of people had come up to my booth asking if I was the one with the giant appa, and they said that they were considering getting him if he hadn't sold. So a lot of other people even had their eyes on him, which was so validating to hear. A lot of people mentioned that the $250 price point was super fair, and honestly, I might even raise it up a little bit more if I happen to make another one in the future. I mentioned in my video of me making appa that the whole goal was to have like 1 giant eye-catching plushie for the weekend to draw people into my booth. And on Friday, people had come up to my table saying like, "Oh, we could spot the appa from a mile away." And I was like, great, he's doing his job. So people could definitely see him from across the whole room, and that really did the trick. My booth was actually really close to the autographs and the voice actors and everything. I was actually really close to the guy that voiced the Cabbage Man from Avatar, so I wonder if he saw the appa at all, but it probably sold by the time he had come out, so I don't even know if he saw him. But yeah, I was just so surprised that appa sold so quickly. I had made 2 of each Spy Family character, so Anya, Yor, Lloyd, and I got a lot of compliments on them on Friday, but surprisingly none of them had sold. But then on Saturday, someone that had visited my booth on Friday came back and grabbed all 3 of them and said, here, I want to get all 3 of them. So that was really cool. And then I had set out the extras of the 3 of them, and then they all each sold individually throughout the day. So I had sold all 6 Spy Family characters just on Saturday alone. By the end of Friday, the very first day of the Artist Alley opening, I had already sold over half of my entire inventory that I had brought for the whole weekend. Like, that was so crazy. I kept going back and forth about whether or not I wanted to be close to selling out, or if I wanted to have at least like a decent amount of inventory left just so I would have enough for my next convention in December. But ultimately, the people kind of decided for me. There were some plushies I had that I made duplicates of that I was planning to just put up slowly throughout the whole weekend. But when one of them sold so quickly, my friend just told me to set it out, and then if it sold, then it sold, you know? That ended up happening for a lot of plushies. Like, I had made 3 Luffys, like 2 Kirby's, and just like a few other, just like duplicates of other bigger things. And they had all sold on Friday. Like, I don't understand how quickly they had sold. My goodness. I'm just still in shock of how quickly so many things sold and how popular certain things were compared to others. But yeah, that was just so crazy. And then by the end of the day, Saturday, the second day, I literally only had 20 individual plushies left to sell out of like 200 plus that I had made for the weekend. And my booth was super bare by the end of the day. So I had actually talked to staff and asked if it would be possible if I could actually pack up after Saturday, because it wouldn't have really made sense to drive all the way back down on Sunday to vend and hopefully only sell like 20 things. And honestly, I wanted to save the rest of those plushies for my other convention coming up, especially the Valorant agents. So they actually did let me pack up, and I didn't even attend Sunday because my table was just so bare and I didn't have anything to sell really. And honestly, I needed Sunday to rest because I only had like 10 hours of sleep between Wednesday to Saturday, and I was just so stressed trying to prep for the entire weekend and everything. I was very glad that I could take Sunday to rest, especially because I had to work Monday. So Sunday was a much needed break day for sure. And it was so cool being able to meet other vendors. I went to the Atlanta Pride Festival a few weeks ago, and there was actually a vendor there who I talked to, and they were also going to be at Anime Week in Atlanta, and it was really nice seeing them again. And we'll also be at the same convention in December, so it'll be nice seeing familiar faces at these events. And my booth neighbors were so great too. Larissa from All the Dwagons had really cool dragon stuff, and Kat was super nice. Her artwork is amazing, and we had a really great time bonding this past weekend. And then a few rows down, I saw Megan from Lying Around Sewing. I had watched some of her YouTube videos too, so it was cool to actually meet her in person. And then I also met Ivy from Drawn by Ivy. We have a few mutuals, so it was really nice finally meeting her. I really wish I filmed a lot more throughout the weekend. I was just so overwhelmed, and I didn't even have time to like set up my camera and everything. Even during the dead periods, like, I didn't even know what to say. Huge props to all the vendors that do film while they're working and everything. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's a lot. It's a lot to have to worry about. So I will definitely be better about filming next time. One thing I noticed while being in an artist alley is that people are very willing to pay the price that you set your items at. I definitely noticed that for the one-day craft markets I've done, pricing was not necessarily an issue, but people did have the tendency to comment on my prices a bit more. But at the artist alley, people were very willing to pay what I had priced everything at. Obviously, some people had commented on the $85 price point for all the Valorant agents and anime characters and everything, but the large majority of everyone else had absolutely no problem picking up the larger items and telling me that they're ready to pay. So yeah, this past weekend was such an incredible experience, and it really validated me that I make good quality plushies that are worth what people are paying them for. So artist alleys are something that I'm definitely going to continue doing in the future. I will definitely be keeping an eye out on applications and everything, and I hope to do more cons in the future. I forgot to show you guys the badge. I was meaning to show you guys because I thought it was pretty cool, and for my first con and my first artist alley, like, I thought it would be cool to just show you guys what the badge looked like. Here's the badge. Ooh, it focused. And they even taped my booth name on there as well, which was pretty cool. Yeah, so I got 2 of these included with my table fee, and they also included the lanyard too, which was cool. So yeah, my first ever artist alley and con badge. I need to find a place to display these. I think it would be cool to have my little collection of all my future cons and artist alleys. This was my first indoor event, and honestly, I really think I prefer indoor events to outdoor events. I don't have to worry about bringing a canopy or tent weights, which takes up a lot of room already in my car. I didn't have to bring extra tables, at least for this event, and I didn't have to worry about the weather, thank goodness. I actually went back and forth from being like super sweaty to pretty cold the whole time I was in the exhibit hall, so it was nice that I had like a short sleeve shirt and then like an outer layer which I could take on and off. So yeah, I definitely prefer indoor events. My next convention is DreamHack Atlanta in December, which is a month and a half away now, and I have to prep a lot of inventory for that weekend. I'm definitely not expecting to make as much as I did from Anime Weekend Atlanta. I know the Artist Alley is a lot smaller for DreamHack, and there isn't as much of an emphasis on vending for that event. It's mainly a competitive gaming convention, so I'm not going to put that much pressure on myself to have as much inventory that I did. But after this weekend, I know now what I should do more duplicates of, and also what I should probably have less of a variety of. And I have more booth space for DreamHack, so I will probably be able to display everything a lot better and not have everything so cluttered. So yeah, if you want to stay updated on my progress as I prep for DreamHack and future conventions, feel free to follow along on this channel and on my social media. Huge thank you to everyone I met this weekend and came by and supported me. I had no idea what to expect for this past weekend, but it definitely exceeded my expectations, and it's all because of you guys who stopped by and supported me and showed me so much love and appreciation for everything that I do. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. That's it for this vlog, so like and subscribe to stay tuned for future videos. Bye!